Alright, boys, it's time for you guys to get a breakdown of the surface mode. What we have here is an account that is very well progressed, pretty much like pretty much finished the beta. And so here I am to tell you guys, break it down to you how it works. Why you should do this in the first place. This is very important that you guys should really understand. There's dailies in there. It's not technically dailies because you can actually accumulate like up to 7 days worth of dailies. So you can do this every 7 days if you really want to. You can make it like a weekly thing, I guess. But what you're getting here is a currency. This one, you get like 3 currencies of this every day, so you see up to 21. But the biggest thing that you need to understand is you can get custom module shards, rocks. Oh wow, so there's rocks here. But not only that, there's an upcoming really important mechanic that's probably gonna be a huge like horizontal progression, additional progression. Think about how impactful dolls were. Maybe this might be even more than that actually. So pay attention, get your notes ready, and we're gonna discuss this. And that's also something to do with the weeklies and dailies that we're gonna talk about. Right now, these additional things, the hexacode stuff, are right now just affecting beta, so it probably doesn't matter as much. But once release comes out, they are extremely important because of how we see this. You will see here that you can get like elemental damage, attack increase here, and these are things that might be affected. And if you look into here, these are part of the daily rewards that you get. These are the building blocks. There's stats here, which I would assume that these might affect like your base stats, you know, in co-op or anything like that. But then there's the block effects that's random. So it's RNG. It's a random element and then random function. And then this one is the hexa bridge, and I'll show what this one does in a bit. So in the outpost, if you go here, there's a code research center. And then if you go inside here, there's the hexacode stuff. There's gonna be a different stuff for each element. So there's this one for fire, and then you're gonna have to build a separate thing for water, things like that. And right now, it probably doesn't mean much, right? Like there's additional stats here. There's these weird points here that they give. But then if you actually notice here, there's some icons here that kind of match something similar that you've seen that I just showed earlier. You see how there's like these ammo like looking thing, but then actually the icon on it is the element damage. So there's a possibility that once you like equip these bias effect, we don't know how to get these yet, because if you actually click on these, it will show that it's still preparing. But if you actually see it, there's the element percent here, and it shows 0%, maybe because there's like nothing in here, maybe perhaps. But then like maybe it's this one's a separate thing. But if you once you equip these, then it will show like, oh, maybe it scales. We don't know exactly how it is because right now it's still just beta. They don't have it, but this is something that you gotta pay attention to. That's where the dailies are. This is one of the daily, and then the other part of the daily is to expand the board. So these are the hexa bridges, that part of the dailies that is included, or weeklies, however, whenever you want to do them. But these are the hexa bridges that you get from those, and this will expand the board to a larger, and that way you can slot in more of those. So this is going to be likely a huge upgrade, especially with like bonus elemental, bonus stats. One of the big things that I want to emphasize on is like, it's not necessarily just the elemental that is like really important here. It's the fact that you can add like hit rate, attack here, Likely it's gonna be everybody wants the elemental and attack, but then the third one is likely gonna be different, and each element is gonna have something different here, right? It's a different bios effect, and it likely will affect each element here. And what you might see is maybe like water might get like, maybe they want hit rate more because there's a lot of water that want core damage perhaps, right? Like Dorothy. Maybe you don't want ammo. I don't know if there's ammo in there, but maybe you don't want ammo on electric because Summer Anise and Exia will get inted, right? And maybe you want charge speed on wind because Scarlet Black Shadow. Because of that also, that can change how you might end up building a unit. Maybe you want crit rate or crit damage on iron, right? Because of how crit damage involved with it. It's like when you pair Miranda with Snow White, or like with Eve that has a lot of crit rate in it. So the custom module is just one thing. Right now on beta, that is the main thing that you are going to be getting from here. One thing that you can get from beta is the frame, and if you notice here, it shows here beta exclusive. So that's something that is kind of why you would want to do beta right now. So even though if it's beta, and other than that, the treasure boxes, that's something that you do want to open up. These are rocks, 20-30 rocks total, that if you just fully explore this game mode. So that's something you want to make sure to do. You want to push as far as you can for the sectors. So you want to push as far as you can because there are difficulty. The sectors here is where you're gonna do the daily, but then the difficulty also gets unlocked as you unlock the sectors. And the important thing is like this, where custom module shards, the lower difficulty is 50, but the higher is like the highest one is 60 right now. So you want to unlock sector 4 as early as possible, but you have also up to 7 days from right now, or whenever you see this. If you haven't done so yet, start doing it now, so that you can accumulate dailies. The dailies don't immediately get unlocked, so if you start the game, this game mode, you might not see this quest at the beginning. It's when you first unlock Sector 2, this is when you unlock this quest for the dailies. I don't know if you haven't unlocked it. I don't know if you were accumulating even before that, or do you start accumulating? I only have 3 daily missions, and I just completed Sector 2 like an half hour ago. There you go. That's our answer. Right there, chat. All right. So if you haven't started yet, unlock the dailies at the very least. To get to Sector 2, I think it takes like about 1 to 2 hours. Just rush it. And I'll talk about like the general idea, team building, and stuff like that to help you guys out later. That's your main goal this beta, so that you're not wasting some of your rocks. You have at least, by the time you unlock the dailies, you have at least 7 days before you need to unlock Sector 4. And someone, for this beta purposes, someone finished it in like 1 day, but that's like 1 full day. He was just sitting there and just rushed through it. So that's the main goal for beta. I would say the custom modules and the frame, if you guys care about those. Let's start to the juicy part. And this is something that you have to understand to start with if you are watching this maybe on release, if they end up like not changing much. And these are the priority. On release, other than the daily quest that you can accumulate up to a week that I mentioned, there are other weeklies. There are weekly bosses, and there's one here, and then if I move around here, there's another here, and then there is also a defense in here. So this one is a weekly defense also. It's not giving us rocks, but it's giving us hexacode blocks. And on release, this is something that I guess another thing that you want to rush on, why you would want to rush the content at the very least before the weekly happens. And another reason why you would want to push early on release is the time gate on crafting. See, here's right now, it's showing that it's 12 hours. The headquarters is being upgraded from level 4 to level 5. And your goal is to capture bases. You go here, there's gonna be these ones, you capture bases. But in order to capture these bases, what you're gonna need an item. And to get those items, you have to craft them. In the factory, there's a produce, and then there's these items here that you're gonna be crafting, like these tactical camouflage thing. You used to start the occupation battle in sector 4, so there's different sectors. You're gonna need these different items. So what your goal is to run around the map, look for these items so that you can start crafting these items for capturing the bases. So this base is one of those ones that you can capture. You have to find those items, capture bases, and definitely want to bring more than like 1 unit. You want to bring, but right here, see, it starts occupation battle, which is the item that you need. And so you're gonna be on that loop. So once you capture those bases, this will allow you to start upgrading more resources. So right now, this is like upgrading some resources. These are more resource generation processing plants, which will allow you to basically get more AFK resources. Because as you go in here, these are Outpost 2.0. We have another Outpost 2.0. Right now, so far, you're constantly on the run out on Gadesium, so if there's like any efficiency to upgrade first, go for the Gadesium one. You're constantly running out at the very least. Like here, I don't know if they're gonna rebalance that, but classic, we always need Gadesium, right? So the main loop: explore, capture bases, unlock the sectors, and then go to the headquarters here, and then upgrade your headquarters. And then after that, you will upgrade the factory. After you upgrade the factory, then you can start upgrading the processing plants. There's different processing plants. These are the different resources. And then after you upgrade the processing plant, there's the core powder processing plant as well. And then after those, then you can upgrade the hospital, because the hospital needs the core powder processing plant. But what you can do is also, let me go to a more easier one, the lower level one. Here is, you can start upgrading the warehouse and dormitories. So there's the dormitory. It does require a specific level, but this dormitory allows you to increase the Nikke slots. And you might be wondering what these Nikke slots are. That is related to the squads. So right now, on this account, this only has 10, I guess. All right, so this higher level one, and if we go here, so now we have 30 squads. So if your dormitory was like lower level, so like let's say I only have like level 34 on the Nikke slot, or 34 Nikke slots on the dormitory, I'm not going to be able to build a full squad on squad 7. I'm gonna be stuck with like 4 out of 5. So your 7 squad is gonna be that. So what you're gonna need is to unlock the dormitories. And where are the dormitories? And you will get them by just unlocking these capturing bases. When you capture the bases, you can unlock the dormitories. You upgrade them. That will increase the Nikke slot. In return, increasing the squad slot is not enough. You just have to unlock also the increase the Nikke count, and then that way you can start forming full squads. And I'll talk about why do you want more full squads a little bit. And then after that, I want to stay on the upgrade part. As you're unlocking sectors, you can also upgrade this alpha particle purification. So this alpha particle purification is important because this increases combat power on here on the surface mode. Just to show you a little bit, so this Scarlet Black Shadow is like looking like it has 641 attack, right, and 32,000 HP. And if I go to the weaker account, if we look at the Scarlet Black Shadow here, I only had 278 attack here. What you want to do is to upgrade this alpha particle. Once you unlock the next sector, sector 2 gateway is now available. You purify, start that, and then there's more waiting. There's a lot of waiting time on it also, so you want to keep going. Capiche? You got that? Unlock capture bases, unlock things, upgrade the bases, upgrade the alpha particle, and you kind of go into that loop until you get into the dailies or weeklies rather. And the weeklies are basically defeating the bosses and also capturing defending the base. Those are gonna be constant weeklies that we're gonna have to do. How do we, like, what are the tips on this? Because like a lot of people are probably like wondering, yeah, but then I'm dying. So some people have been like looking really into like the team builds, what teams to use, what are the useful stuff. I'm gonna link this just to kind of help like get an idea. You want to have a different Nikke per buff and combine them all up. So the exploration, you want one that has like a move speed, and these are the units that you have, and then one that has like bonus range. So some of you might realize that when you start moving and then someone like hits you and you're not hitting back. And then there's like the HP leech, damage taken, and attack up. You only really need one squad unless you like moving multiple squads at the same time. More power to you. You want to play it like StarCraft, go ahead. But because of how slow the the surface is, maybe just one squad. I'm happy moving one squad at a time. That's like for exploration, mainly for exploration. When it comes to boss fights though, that's when you're gonna have to start putting in multiple teams. This is where the multiple teams come in, or like when you're doing defense, that's when you're gonna have to bring in multiple teams. The setup is a little bit different right now for that, and if you want to make it easier for your purposes. Now, some people say that you can set up like different elements, because doing the defense actually there are some recommended element that they do. There's a weak point here, so if you want to set up different like team elements for it, you could do so. The support squad, let me talk about this. Why do you want to build a support squad? And yeah, so one is like when you're starting to do this defense, like occupied area, you have to capture it. And then the other is like against when you're fighting the bosses. And I think there were some clips before where people have shown where they can completely ignore the boss mechanics just by putting in like lots of healers and just autoing the boss alone. So you put in like 6 squads and then they just heal each other constantly. It's very useful to have like a healer, right? So what are the different ones that you probably would want? One is a healer. So one of these, like Pepper, Flora, Soda, Summer Mary, and 102, people have these, right? Surely they have heals. And then there's the recovery up, which increase the healing of the squad. So you need these two to kind of pair up. And then there's the fire range bonus, and these fire range bonus increases your range, who you're supporting, so that like your combat squad has like an increased range. And then there's the skill range bonus, which will allow you to heal further. And then there's the attack speed bonus. There's a video example here. Let's see the video example of some guy just ignoring mechanics right there. Let's see. All right, there's speeding. Let me speed up. Oh well, that one I don't know about that one. Oh, there's like some safe spot. They want you to move to the safe spot, but you can just ignore the mechanics and just heal it, I guess. There we go. So if you want to just like set up something like this, and this is why like unlocking more teams and then unlocking the squads, the dormitories, and is gonna make it a little bit easier for you to do these weeklies. That's like the team building at its finest core. You set up like however many combat squad you need, and then set up however many healer squad, support squad you need, and then whenever you're exploring, you have like an exploration team, and that's the simplest like setup of this. Another thing that a lot of people forget though, so right now when you're selected a unit, the thing is like you don't see it. When you're selecting a unit, you see this, right? You have to close this, and then in the supply depot there's these injector, beta and body injector. These core injector is basically heals. You want to use this if you want to rush things. That's pretty much like recommended to use those so that you can like start hard pushing early on. If you don't want to constantly go back and forth to put healers, it does get a little bit annoying when you have to constantly put out some healers in the recovery, constantly recovering here, and kind of spend these also, or these resources. Those are the main takeaways from this surface. Definitely you don't want to snooze on it. For beta, definitely some rocks right now and some frames, and then when in release, the Hexacode is going to be very important. The code research center in the outpost, this is going to be a huge like stat increase, and I can see it being kind of like a requirement. It's probably going to be a little bit more important in Solar Raid and co-op. Actually, never every in Solar Raid in the competitive content, Union Raid, Solar Raid co-op, I could see this being very important. So you don't want to snooze on this on release, and I think getting ready for this on release once it comes out is gonna help you out. But yeah, that's kind of like the quick rundown. I don't know how long this guide is. Maybe we've been speaking for 20 minutes, but that is a rundown of the surface mode. Yeah, I there have been a lot of comments about this game mode. A lot of people didn't necessarily really like it, of how slow it is. Eventually it will get into a weekly mode, but I feel like the weekly mode that wasn't really well thought out. And just to explain why, because like there's these boss here, right? Like, so there's this boss here, and then there's this boss here, so you have to run around, right? You have to run around constantly, and then there's this heliports here, and you will get these items actually. So there's this rapid deployment, which is something that you can kind of use. I need to, where's the squad? Oh god. You select a squad, and then you select where to drop them off. It could be in one of the bases or one of these helipads that you see, and it will use this item. It's not very well thought out because you can only have one up to, and if you do the upgrade, you can carry two. And you can't like stack them up, and you can only transfer one squad. And then now what if you want to do your weeklies? You want to bring your whole squad. You have to click this. I have to click this. All right, then make them go here. Click here, go here, click here, go here. You go here. And now they're working. Let's go, boys. I mean, girls. Yeah, it's it should have been a no item cost, because like why even make it tedious? And then yeah, and then yeah, let's start. I'll just give an example. Am I on sector 4 right now? Yeah, I'm on sector 4 right now. So I want to do my daily. You can choose which sector you want to do your daily, but then the important thing is like as long as you select the difficulty, and again you unlock the difficulty at higher more sectors. You bring units. Oh god, here we go. And so you gotta do this. Oh, let's go. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this one also. And in order for this to refresh, you have to finish the whole selection anyway. There we go. And that's your daily / weekly. I would highly recommend, definitely give a lot of feedback, right, to shift up. This is something that they want. It feels like to be a weekly thing. It's not very well thought out still, because I feel like it's, you know, they made they made anomaly interception easier. Although we have this. Oh god. Hey, task complete. And there we go. And wait, there's a double claim rewards. Don't tell me we're gonna use. Okay, maybe it's gonna use 2. Like I would be, that would be so crazy if you have to use, if you can double your rewards using like gems. Ain't no way. No way. Oh my god. Wait. I could see that. Oh my god. I just realized that more gems per day. Holy crap. No, I could see this actually. Yep. Ah, crap. Oh god. Cancel this guy. No. These 100% gems. It's gonna cost gems for sure. It's like there's this one also, you can speed up, right? The upgrade 12 hours. This was 12 hours. You can complete now. What do you think? What do you think is needed to complete now? Let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys this. What do you think is needed to complete now? Freaking 1,000 gems. That's what. Oh god. Can you stop? I'm not. It's not me, man. It's them. They already. It seems like they planned this already. Why would that button be there otherwise? Why would that button be there otherwise? I'm not the one giving them ideas. They're the ones. They're the ones doing this shit. Oh my god, they intentionally made it slow so that we are gonna pay gems for it. Oh no. Anyways, I don't like. Anyways, yeah, again, give your feedbacks. Some things you gotta rush, some are beta exclusive. Don't snooze on it. Start unlocking the dailies at least. We have confirmed. Well, someone in chat. If they provided me wrong info, it is what it is. But someone did say that they just finished Gate 2, Sector 2, and the daily didn't start accumulating. So if you haven't done Surface yet, at the very least, like unlock the daily, and then later on keep pushing until Sector 4. Anyways, new problem has been created. Now we just wait for the solution to go on sale. Yo. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this guide. Don't forget to do that jazz, all that jazz. YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, stuff like that. That's gonna be it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.